probably won't believe this, but my last RedMagic video actually got removed from one platform. Why? Its 2+1 cooling system somehow got flagged as sounding like superstition or feng shui. Crazy, right? So this time, I'm being a little careful with certain words and staying on the AI's good side. The RedMagic 11S Pro Plus is actually easy to understand. It's an upgrade, but not a major redesign. Most things remain familiar. The two biggest changes are the new Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip and built-in Steam support through its PC game emulator. So let's focus on those. Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content. Starting with performance, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 boosts its prime core to 4.74 GHz, about 2.8% higher than before. GPU frequency also jumps roughly 8.3% to 1.3 GHz. Some people might say, so it's just an overclock? Not exactly. This kind of performance isn't achieved by simply raising clock speeds. Manufacturers carefully select the best chips from the wafer and test which ones can maintain these higher frequencies without excessive heat or power consumption. That's what makes it elite. But great silicon alone isn't enough. Without proper cooling and tuning, even the best chip can't reach its full potential. That's where RedMagic stands out. Its thermal system is a huge reason this processor can perform at its maximum level. I didn't have many comparison phones left, so the only device nearby was a Samsung flagship. That actually makes the comparison simple. We can directly see how both handle sustained performance. For testing, I used a combined CPU and GPU stress test. Running both together gives a clearer picture of how each phone behaves under heavy load and reveals their tuning strategy. And honestly, RedMagic goes all in. It pushes both CPU and GPU to the limit with almost no hesitation. Even without last-generation data, it's clearly over 10% stronger than a typical performance flagship. Samsung takes a different approach. As temperatures rise, it protects the CPU and prioritizes GPU performance. Peak frame rate reached 42.4 FPS, but the average fell to around 13 FPS. RedMagic, meanwhile, keeps both components running hard. Looking at temperatures, RedMagic feels very similar to the previous generation. In a 25 degrees Celsius room, the hottest area reaches about 57 degrees Celsius under extreme load. Sustained output still hits an impressive 16.5 watts. What's even more interesting is its power control. Peak power draw is around 21.7 watts, which feels surprisingly refined considering the performance. Samsung's power behavior is much more aggressive. During the first 30 seconds, it honestly looked a little scary. Moving to gaming, I also want to clarify something from my previous tablet video. Some viewers were too harsh on those results. The issue wasn't that tablets were slower, it was that they were rendering at much higher resolutions, creating a heavier workload. Using the same settings, RedMagic rendered at around 800p, while Samsung was closer to 864p. The tablets were pushing nearly 1080p, which dramatically increased power consumption and reduced frame rates. Lowering graphics settings can make a huge difference. Samsung also faces a small disadvantage here. Visually, the difference is almost impossible to notice, but it's still processing about 8% more rendering workload. That extra load matters. In gaming results, RedMagic performs incredibly well. With or without active cooling, it maintains full frame rate while staying under 5 watts average power draw. Cooling pushed to the max delivers the best results, and even the 1% low frame rates remain smooth. The performance graph is almost perfectly flat. Samsung can't overcome that extra rendering load. It usually holds performance for about 5 minutes before frame drops start appearing. After that, thermal throttling becomes obvious. As for the cooling system, the fan at maximum speed uses around 0.25 watts, while the water cooling section adds about 0.1 watts. Together, total cooling power consumption is only 0.35 watts, and surprisingly, that tiny amount of power makes a real difference. Thermal imaging shows that in a 32 degrees Celsius room, the cooling system lowers surface temperature by around 2 degrees Celsius and internal temperature roughly 1.7 degrees Celsius. So overall, the result is genuinely impressive. For just 0.35 watts of cooling power, RedMagic delivers a noticeable thermal advantage and helps maintain its exceptional performance. Now, compared to the previous generation, the performance jump isn't massive. Because of limited time, I skipped separate testing and went straight into gameplay with the cooling system maxed out and Honor of Kings running at maximum settings. Here's something interesting. Both the RedMagic 11S++ and Samsung were rendering at around 900p, while the tablet I tested before was pushing close to 1440p, or 2K. So if you've seen lag on a tablet before, don't panic. Lowering graphics settings makes a huge difference. And honestly, spotting the difference between 900p and 2K during gameplay is incredibly difficult. Looking at frame rates, Samsung once again struggled. It could only maintain peak performance for about 5 minutes. RedMagic averaged 59.9 FPS with 6.77 W power consumption. Its 1% low was 51.8 FPS with only a few small drops. Overall score, 67.3. As for temperatures, in a 32 degrees Celsius room, the hottest screen area averaged 48.4 degrees Celsius while holding 6.77 W. That sounds reasonable, but once power climbs toward 9 or 10 W, thermal pressure rises quickly. Samsung's power behavior also looked noticeably unstable throughout the test. Next up, Arknights. This time, both phones and tablets rendered at roughly 1080p. RedMagic averaged 59.2 FPS at 7.1 W, with a 1% low of 29.7 FPS and a frame score of 66.5. The graph shows a few brief dips, but overall results are slightly better than the compact tablets I tested earlier. The second half of the run is especially strong. Samsung's average temperature still reached around 48.3 degrees Celsius, making RedMagic look significantly stronger here, easily around 50% better in this scenario. And honestly, 49.3 degrees Celsius isn't even that high considering the workload. The biggest surprise came from the Ming Dynasty test. I had no idea the gaming phones from my previous comparison were rendering at such crazy resolutions. The Legion was nearly hitting 4K, while the Redmi exceeded 2K at around 1720p. No wonder performance suffered. I'll definitely revisit that test. Back to RedMagic and Samsung. Both were set to maximum graphics at around 980p. Samsung hit its limit again. My unit lasted roughly 12 minutes before overheating badly enough to crash. That pretty much says it all. RedMagic, however, was seriously impressive. It maintained full frame rates throughout the test, with an average power draw of 9.61 W and peaks of 12.6 W. Aside from one tiny fluctuation near the end, gameplay remained smooth from start to finish. The final frame score reached 73.9, about as good as it gets for this generation. Of course, that performance comes with heat. In a 30 degrees Celsius environment, the hottest point on the back averaged 51.4 degrees Celsius, while both front and rear surfaces peaked around 54 degrees. Now let's talk about one of the coolest new additions, the PC game Emulator. It finally supports direct Steam login, and that's a huge upgrade. Instead of manually importing everything, you can log into Steam, access your full library, view account details, and download supported games with a single tap. Installation, presets, and required files are handled automatically. Even the download experience feels surprisingly close to Steam on a PC. Saves sync, games launch smoothly, and everything feels familiar. Pair it with RedMagic's X-Gravity platform, and the phone starts feeling like a portable gaming console. It's a much more convenient experience. That said, there are still limitations. Not every Steam game runs perfectly. Compatibility is strongest with officially supported titles. For many other games, you'll still need manual tweaks, parameter adjustments, and some trial and error. As for modern AAA games, I still think cloud gaming is the better option unless you specifically need local performance. Even powerful emulators can struggle with these demanding titles. Older games are a different story. Titles like Tomb Raider 9 and Need for Speed 17 run surprisingly well. The emulator handles them smoothly with default settings while keeping power consumption relatively low. Finally, let's talk about design. The rear panel has been slightly refined, with fewer exposed screws than before. It still has that aggressive sci-fi gaming style RedMagic is known for, but now it feels cleaner, more mature, and more polished. The rest of the hardware, ports, and smaller features remain largely unchanged, so there's not much new to cover there. If I had to describe the RedMagic 11S Plus in a few words, I'd say bold, distinctive, futuristic, and deeply focused on performance. Combined with the Snapdragon Elite Gen 5, it's easily one of the strongest gaming phones available right now. Whether you're chasing elite mobile gaming performance or simply want a powerful Android device that excels at both gaming and everyday use, the RedMagic 11S Plus absolutely deserves a place on your shortlist. So, what do you think? Does the RedMagic 11S Plus live up to your expectations for a true gaming flagship? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!